You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps and standing updates from Tuesday, April the 14th, 2020. Starting with an interleague matchup, this is the Orioles' second National League Central team that it's delved into a series with. Won the series against the Pirates and lost in game one of this series to the Cubs 4-2. John Lester got the win. Alex Cobb now with 3 losses as one of the top pitchers in the Orioles rotation. And Craig Kimbrell doing well as the Cubs closer this season. 8 saves now for him. Astros-Rays played each other, and the Astros won this game in 10 innings. It was tied at 1 going into extras, but immediately the Astros tacked on 3 runs. And that's how Diego Castillo got the loss, came in the 10th inning and gave up the lead to the Astros. Castillo now with 2 losses on the year. Brian Abreu now 1-1 as one of the long relief pitchers in the Astros staff. And Roberto Osuna now with 7 saves on the season. One of our games of the day here on Major League Baseball's virtual network, the Blue Jays and Twins played quite an exciting game. It started off as a pitcher's duel between Kenta Maeda of the Twins and Tanner Roark of the Blue Jays, but quickly in the 6th inning, tables turned quite a bit. Cavan Biggio hit a 2-run home run off Kenta Maeda that chased him from the game, and then in the 7th inning, the Twins scored 4 runs, 3 of which were on a Nelson Cruz 3-run home run. And then in the 9th inning, Teoscar Hernandez, with the bases loaded, hit a home run, making it a walk-off grand slam for him. And there you see Taylor Rogers with the loss. He blew the save. He now has 6 blown saves in 11 opportunities this season with the Twins. Wilmer Font got the win. He's 3-1 now out of the Blue Jays bullpen. An AL Central matchup that featured the Tigers and the Indians, and the Tigers have broken a losing streak after beating the Indians. David McKay got the win. Hunter Wood got his first losing decision of the season. And Joe Jimenez now with 2 saves, though. He is the closer of the Tigers. So Joe Jimenez now with 2 saves as the Tigers' closing pitcher. More AL Central baseball. The Chicago White Sox beat the Kansas City Royals 6-1. And very simply, Lucas Giolito got the win and Keller got the loss. Giolito perfect now through his starts. Does not have a losing decision yet. The Boston Red Sox and Oakland Athletics played each other in a game that was close and filled with offense. The Athletics put up a couple 2 spots in the 2nd and 4th innings. Red Sox scored 4 runs in the 4th and were able to sprinkle on some ones there and win the game 7-5. Colton Brewer got the win. Yusmeiro Petit got the loss, and Brandon Workman now with 3 saves out of the Red Sox bullpen. Another interleague game that featured the Washington Nationals and the Seattle Mariners. Nationals won 9-3, put up a 4 spot in the 6th and a 5 spot back in the 1st. Max Scherzer, 2 wins now for him on the year, and Taijuan Walker got his first losing decision of 2020. Rangers and Yankees played another game in this series, and the Rangers beat the Yankees again. Rafael Montero got the win, Jay Happ got the loss, and Jose Leclerc now with 5 saves as the Rangers closer. Interleague baseball, the Miami Marlins beat the Los Angeles Angels 7-4. And the Marlins continue to stay as a contender in the National League Eastern Division. Pablo Lopez now with 3 wins on the season. Andrew Heaney still winless, now with 2 losses. And Yimi Garcia, though he's not the closer, he got the save in this game. Marlins were helped by a 6-run 5th inning. National League East baseball that featured the Mets and the Braves. And the Mets were able to win the game by a score of 7-6. Robert Geiselman got the win out of the bullpen. Sean Newcomb got the loss, and Edwin Diaz now with 5 saves as the closer of the Mets. Giants and Reds played each other, and the Giants were propelled by 2 3-run innings back-to-back in the 5th and 6th innings. That allowed Jeff Samardzija to get the win. Luis Castillo got hit with the loss, and Tony Watson now with 7 saves as the Giants closer. Our other game of the day here on Major League Baseball's virtual network featured the Brewers and the Phillies. The ball was flying around today. Bryce Harper had a 2-run home run in the first inning. Eric Sogard had a 2-run home run in the fifth inning, and in between there were some other RBIs distributed, but the Brewers ultimately won thanks to that Eric Sogard home run, and no team scored in the second half of the game. Corbin Burns got the win. Jake Arrieta got the loss, and Josh Hader now with 9 saves and 10 opportunities this season. Pittsburgh Pirates and Arizona Diamondbacks played each other, and the Pirates broke their losing streak, and that was mostly thanks to a 3-run top of the first inning. That was all the offense that they needed. Joe Musgrove now with 2 wins. Mike Leake with 3 losses and no wins, and Keone Kela 6 saves on the year now as Pirates closer. This series continues. These two played each other beforehand and are playing each other again, this time at Dodger Stadium for a series. Walker Buehler got the win. He's now 3-0 on the season. Dakota Hudson 0-2. And Kenley Jansen now has 4 saves as the closer of the Dodgers. And NL West baseball that featured the Padres and the Rockies. Garrett Richards starting the year off hot in his first season with the Padres. 3 wins now for him on the year. German Marquez 1-2 now on the season, and Kirby Yates 8 saves as the Padres closer, and the Padres continue to lead in the NL West. Couple injury updates for you while we're looking at scores. We'll start with the Rangers. Some poor news for the Rangers. Joey Gallo fractured his shin in this game. He'll be out for 2 to 3 months, and he was immediately replaced on the 60-day injured list. Greg Bird was called up from AAA to fill in as a bench bat, and the lineup for the Rangers has been moved around a bit. And for the Mets, Pete Alonso injured his calf, and he'll be out for about 1 to 2 weeks, so he was placed on the 10-day injured list. Marcus Stroman, who started this game, suffered from shoulder inflammation. He'll be out for 1 to 2 weeks as well. He was moved to the pitcher-specific 15-day injured list. That's why Robert Geiselman got the win, because he had to come out of the bullpen and pitch in a long relief role. Corey Oswalt was called up from the minor leagues to fill in the rotation while Marcus Stroman is on the injured list, and Dominic Smith moves off the bench. He'll be the starting first baseman for the time being for the Mets. And with that injury update, we'll go over to the standings around Major League Baseball, starting in the American League East, with the Yankees on a 3-game losing streak. That's given the Blue Jays and the Rays an opportunity to catch up, and they have passed the Yankees, and these two tied for first place in the AL East. Blue Jays beat the Twins today. The Rays lost in their game today against the Astros, and they're both 10-8. The Yankees have now lost 3 straight, most recently to the Athletics and the Rangers. They're now 9-9, a game back of the division lead. The Orioles are 8-9 after losing 2 straight. Lost 1 to the Pirates, had an off day yesterday, and today lost to the Cubs. They're 8-9. And the Red Sox 5-14 after winning today, still far behind for the division lead. They're 5.5 games back of the division lead. To the AL Central, this race continues to stay relatively tight in some areas, and in others, not so much. But White Sox and Twins, close in proximity in the AL Central standings. The White Sox 12-5. They won today. The Twins 10-8. They lost to the Blue Jays today, 2.5 games out of the division lead. The Royals are 8-9, 4 games back of the division. The Indians 8-10 on a 2-game losing streak, 4.5 games back. And the Tigers were able to win today against the Indians, so they broke their losing streak, but are still 3-13 and 8.5 games out of the AL Central lead. And to the American League West, the Houston Astros lead the AL West with a 10-7 record. They're on a 1-game winning streak now after beating the Rays. The Rangers are 9-8 on a 2-game winning streak, most recently beating the Yankees, and they're 1 game out of the AL West. The Athletics, who once led the division by a reasonable margin, are now falling behind, 9-9 in third place, 1.5 games back of the division. The Angels, 8-9. They're 2 games out of the division. They lost to the Marlins today. And the Mariners are 8-11 on a 2-game losing streak now, 3 games back of the AL West. Still relatively a tight race, though, in the American League Western Division. And here are the wild card standings. Still too close to worry about right now, and the divisions are tight, so these numbers not quite crucial, although there's the visual for you as usual. And now moving to the National League, starting in the National League East. This is a race that's continuing to break apart, but still some contenders. The Nationals continue to lead. They won today on a 4-game winning streak now. They're 12-5 at the top of the NL East. Then you have the Miami Marlins, who are 2.5 games back of the division with a 10-8 record. They won today against the Angels. The Phillies are 9-9, 3.5 games out on a 2-game losing streak now to the Milwaukee Brewers. The Braves 8-11, 5 games out of the division, tied for last place with the Mets, who have a 7-10 record and are also 5 games out of the division lead. To the National League Central, both the Cubs and the Brewers are on a hot streak now. The Brewers beat the Phillies today, and the Cubs beat the Orioles. Again, they're both on 4-game winning streaks, and they both lead the National League Central Division. The Pirates, runners-up right now, technically in third place with a 9-8 record, 2 games back of the division. The Pirates on a 2-game winning streak now after beating the Diamondbacks and the Orioles most recently. The Cardinals, 8-9, have lost 6 straight now, most recently lost to the Dodgers. They're 8-9, 3 games out of the division after once leading. And the Reds have been toward the bottom of this division for most of this season to start out. They're 6-10, 4.5 games out of the division lead. And then to the National League West, the San Diego Padres lost their huge winning streak, but they've padded on enough insurance to continue to stay at the top, and they're winning. Most recently beat the Rockies, but Padres 13-4, and they lead the division. The Giants, however, have come out of the depths of the NL West to chase the Padres. Giants won today, and they're 11-6, 2 games out of the division lead. The Dodgers, who have won the NL West for 7 straight seasons now, are in third place, 4 games out of the division. Dodgers snapped a losing streak after beating the Cardinals today. The Diamondbacks lost to the Pirates. They're 8-10, 5.5 games out. And the Colorado Rockies, the biggest deficit, the most games back out of any team in any division right now. The Rockies, the first to pass 10 games back of a division lead in this 2020 season. They've lost 5 straight now and are 2-14, and it's not getting easier for them because they're in a series with the Padres right now, and there are the Padres. National League wildcard standings look like this. Still too close. Division races are still too close as well, but here's a visual of where your team may stand if it's not a division leader. These have been your game recaps and standing updates from Tuesday, April the 14th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.